So I've had my iPhone for about 5 or so months now, and I wanted to make this video about some of the accessories that I've used within that time, some that were really great and some that not so great. So I'm gonna go through a few of them now, and then maybe I'll do another video about the iPhone itself after using it for this many months, because I was an Android user for about 8 or so years before I went back to iPhone. So I want to do this quick video to talk about some accessories that I've been using, and maybe if you'll find something here that you were kind of wondering about and wasn't sure about pulling the trigger on that purchase. So hopefully this video does help somebody. Now I want to start with the Apple Watch, which I am wearing now, and I am using it just to see myself on the iPhone camera. And this is kind of like a different case in terms of an accessory for iPhone, because yes, it is an iPhone accessory, but it's very pricey. I do have it on my phone plan, so I'm paying for it monthly, and I gotta say, this thing is great. It gives you all the notifications you need. I have it with the data service, so I can keep the phone at home and use the watch on the go with my GPS and my texting and my phone calls. You do have to pair it with a Bluetooth headset if you want to make those phone calls or listen to music on it. And it's not really ideal if you want to use it to drive somewhere without your phone for GPS. But some people might want to use it if they're riding a bike throughout a park or something, and they want to use just the watch, so they don't have to worry about their phone falling out their pocket, or if they don't have a sturdy enough phone mount for the bike. So this thing is pretty damn good. When it comes to texting on it, that's where the issue comes in, because I don't have the big enough screen like the Series 7 to type the messages. So I either have to swipe letters or have to do speak to text. And that sometimes it mostly works, but sometimes it doesn't. And you can get Siri on this, but there's different ways to access Siri. But what I like about this watch is how customizable the interface is. You can put multiple different wallpapers and just swipe between them whenever you want. You can add different elements to your wallpapers, such as the battery percentage of your watch, the date, the time, reminders. You can put Shazam on the watch face, so you can just tap that to find music around you, and that's pretty cool. Like I said, this is a bit pricier, and when it comes to this watch, I do use a Rhino Shield case. I do like the fact that it's very customizable. I can change the bumper, I can change the crash guard. I do have different wristbands that I switch, so I try to change my watch up pretty often just to get a new look every now and then. So that's one thing that I really enjoy about an accessory for Apple, which is the watch. Now, one thing that's very important about your accessories is your case. So I have the MagSafe case from Apple, the silicone case. I actually have a few of them. This is the black one, obviously. I have the one in blue, red, green, and clear. Now, I don't use the green one or the clear one too often, mainly because, number one, I don't have a lot of clothes that match with the green one. And number two, the clear one is kind of a problem for me. Now, I'm still debating on returning it, because the problem with this case is, number one, it doesn't protect the bottom. It doesn't have what they call a chin protection. Whereas the other ones, they do have chin protection. I don't know if you can see that there on the camera. But you can see there it's closed off. Here it's open. And so if you drop the phone on the bottom, you're potentially going to damage your phone. The other problem is this is a very hard plastic, and these are, very soft. So when you try to take the phone off of this case, it can become a problem. And I had multiple times we're trying to remove it, and I get the emergency SOS pop up. So you're gonna have to, cancel that before it does emergency SOS. And I'm gonna talk about why I bought this case in a minute, and I mentioned it before in a video. I think I did. But as for the other colors, my only problem with these other colors, or the colors in general, is the black one will most likely show some like markings from other accessories that you use, other MagSafe accessories. I don't know why that is. It could be that I use the black one more often than I use the other ones, and because that was the first one I had. So it could be over time these cases will show some markings on the back from other MagSafe. I don't know if you can see it there, but it's kind of like fading around there. So I'm doing it the best that I can. But yeah, you will get that happen. I do have a Spigen case. It was the first case I ever bought because it was cheaper than the MagSafe, and it is MagSafe. But the problem is, and not many people will tell you this, but most third-party cases like this, the magnet on the back is not as powerful as the Apple one. So, for example, when I use my magnetic car mount, this phone has fallen off the mount a couple of times from some bumpy rides, minor bumpy rides. But with these cases, I've never had them fall off a car mount ever from driving. And like I said, I had the phone for like 5 months. So imagine that. Not to mention, there was a rumor from Apple themselves when I asked them about it, that if you use a third-party case and a MagSafe charger, you are going to get slower charging speeds from the third-party cases. That's the rumor. I don't know if it's true. I haven't really tested it out perfectly, but I recommend just going with the Apple one. I know it costs a bit more. This was $30 when I got it, and then like a few months later, it dropped down to like $17. But if you want to be, money saving and get something a little cheaper, then sure, they're okay. They just won't be as good as the Apple branded one. And I'm not trying to, be a spokesperson for Apple and make you buy their expensive products, but that's just how it is. Moving on from there, I do have two of these. These are magnetic phone mounts by Moment, tripod mounts. I'm using one right now with my phone. And there's a good and a negative, a positive and a negative to having this. Positive is if you're using it and you need to take your phone out to make some changes on your video settings, you could just quickly remove it, change it, and put it back. When you're using something like this, it can be a process to really take the phone out from the mount, and it could potentially scratch up your cases and damage the cases with something like this. But the problem is when you're using something like that, one of these magnetic ones, you do have the potential of it falling to the ground depending on how much movement you're doing. If you're trying to do like a moving, like a vlog where you're moving around and moving the camera around, I would recommend a standard phone tripod mount that could hold it in place. But for something like this, you're filming at home, you're going to keep the camera in one position. This is perfect. It does have a cold shoe mount, which I have my light attached to it because my microphone's plugged in. In other cases, you just put a microphone on top of it. They do sell these without the mount. They also sell ones with a shorter stick right here, and those keep the phone in landscape mode, so you can't put them in portrait mode. Which that's actually the one I'm using currently with the shorter mount. But because this one has a longer mount, you can film in portrait, or you can turn the cold shoe to the side after you loosen the back a little bit, which I have it really tight so it doesn't turn. But you can turn it over and then put the phone in portrait mode. So you do have that option. Now these are a bit pricey in my opinion. They're about $40 for a Moment. Plus I think shipping you got to pay as well. So keep that in mind. I got them from Amazon. You still got to pay some shipping on Amazon, but I found that to be better than using Moment. Going on from there, I do have, as I showed before, the Razer Kishi. I don't use this one too often because number one, I don't play that many games on my phone, and the Game Pass Cloud Play thing, I don't know why people try to tell me that it's it's doable and amazing. It's really not. You're gonna have a lot of lag and slow performance rates from using this on Xbox Cloud Save, cloud playing. But it is better to play on the cloud on Android than it is on iPhone. iPhone just recently had it implemented within the app, but Android has had it within the app for a while, and it is a bit better in my opinion. But the other problem is I have a lens cover on the back of my phone, and it just doesn't work with this. The phone won't sit in properly because you can't even use this with a phone case. Your phone has to come off the case to use this. That's my other problem. I don't like to take my phone out of the case, to use something like this, because there is this part in the back of it that, in my opinion, could potentially scratch up your phone, and I really don't want to do that. So just keep that in mind if you are going to get one of these. Plus, they are kind of pricey, like $100 for this. You can get a cheaper option where it's a controller with a phone clip on top of it, and that'll be a cheaper option and still doable in my opinion. So another product that I use daily is my MagSafe charger, my puck charger from Apple, and I do have a stand that I use with it, so my phone can charge standing up and not just laying down on my table with a wire or something. And I have done like an unboxing of this a while back when I did my big phone unboxing. With the MagSafe charger, you are getting 15 watts of charging, versus if you plug it in, you do get 20 watts of charging, but you are using wireless charging. So that's just based on the person, if they want to do wireless charging or if they want to plug it in. I do have a car charger that I plug into my phone that is 17 watts of charging, and I've mentioned in a previous video when I have the the Anchor wireless charging card mount, where you were getting much slower charge speeds. They claimed it was about 15 watts of charging in the car, and the problem with it was you were only getting 1% of charge within 10 minutes, and then depending on your commute to whether you're going to work or the supermarket, you weren't going to get as much of a charge. Whereas the plug-in one, I've done this test and I mentioned it in the video, if you plug it in for the 17 watt, you're going to get about 1% battery for every 3 minutes. And so there's probably faster pluggable ones out there, because the Anchor car charger was, it claims to have 35 watts total. And what they don't tell you is 15 watts of that is from the wireless charging, and then 25 is from the USB-C port on the, or the extra USB port on the charger. So that's where you get the 25 watt of charging. So if you plug it in through there, you are going to see a faster increase. I haven't tested that charge speed yet. So maybe I'll try that someday and see, you know, what it will get, or I'll even like look online, because I want to see how good that charging speed would be compared to my other pluggable charger. Going on from there, I have this microphone that I use here. I think it's called the Rode Video Mic ME or something like that. So I'll put the name of it here somewhere, but this thing has its uses. Number one, you just plug it into the phone through the lightning adapter right there, and it did claim to be usable for iPod and iPad. I think the iPad option would vary, because I have an iPad Pro and that uses USB-C and not lightning. And it does have this part right here that you can remove. This will like kind of like keep it in place, but it is also very hard to remove, so bear with me for a second. There we go. You got to wiggle it a bit, and you can take that piece off, and that has like the two leg parts right here to kind of help keep the microphone snug on your phone. Now, the only negatives to this microphone here is that it is about $70 or $80, and you can't use it with a case either. So your phone has to be completely caseless to use it. Now, I use this only for if I am filming on my tripod here, or if I am out at an event and I'm filming something on the event, like my stand-up comedy, for example. I may use this with a mount like this, because if I'm not going to have a case, I'm not going to put it on the magnetic mount only. You know, I'm going to use something like this to keep it from falling and damaging my phone. So that's kind of like the negatives there. It does have a 3.5 jack in the back, and that's meant for you to plug in headphones so that you can hear the audio that you're trying to record. So for example, if you're filming people, you want to hear the audio and see how it's coming out to the microphone, you just plug it in there and you can hear the subjects, as we call it. I also have a lightning to USB-A adapter. It was in my unboxing video. I'm using it right now for this microphone. It works great. I also used before, I'm trying to see if I have one here somewhere, a 3.5 to USB-C. I would use this one for my iPad if I'm going to use like a microphone with the 3.5 jack, because I do have a microphone that has a 3.5 jack. But these aren't as good as the USB one, mainly because when you use an adapter like this, you are going to have some white noise in the microphone audio, whereas using the lightning to USB adapter, or if you can find a USB-C to USB-A adapter, you're not going to have that white noise in the video. And that's important to some people. Probably not everybody, but to some people. Moving on, I have 2 pairs of AirPods. I have my AirPods Pros and my AirPod Gen 3. I use the Pros primarily for my Mac. I just keep it at home. It connects to the Mac automatically. Done deal. I do use the 3s on the go for a number of reasons. Now, I did a whole comparison video on these two, so you can watch that on my channel. But these are pretty good for a number of things. It does have magnetic charging, so I sometimes use that to charge it. It also does have a longer battery life compared to the Pros. It has about 6 hours battery before charge, and they just work great. It's AirPods. You know what you're getting with AirPods. They're also cheaper than the Pros. They just don't have all the features that the Pros have, so keep that in mind. But these are pretty good, a good accessory for your iPhone. I don't recommend using other Bluetooth headphones because you have to pair it differently, whereas these open them and they're already good to go, and they may not function correctly. It's kind of like using AirPods on an Android. It's just not going to function properly. You're not going to get all the features of them, so just keep that in mind. Now, the final piece of tech that I want to talk about, and I haven't done a full review on it yet, and I think I filmed an unboxing but never uploaded it. I just got too busy with it, but it's one of these Anchor MagSafe chargers, portable chargers that you just put on the back of the phone. And this one I believe was about $60, and I was a bit skeptical at first because I've seen different types, like the Apple one costs $100, and this one is a no-brainer. Number one, it is cheaper than the Apple one. Number two, the Apple one only comes in one color, which is white. This one comes in black. There's a blue one to match. I think it's like sky blue, they're calling it. There's a blue one, this one, and I can't remember the third color. I think it's like a green one or a pink one. One of those two, I can't remember. But the other thing about this one is that it does have this part right here. I forgot what they call it, but it's basically a stand that you can put on the back of your charger. It's like a kickstand. A folio is what they call it. And the folio, in my opinion, the bottom of it where it's connected, it kind of feels a bit flimsy, but I don't think it's gonna break unless I tear it off. But it is a pretty good magnet. It just holds your phone up. Whether you want to do it in portrait or landscape mode, you just rotate your phone. And this thing is actually pretty good. I believe it's about 50,000 milliamps. So it won't necessarily charge your phone to 100%, but it will keep your battery at a certain point throughout the charge. I've actually used this at a concert recently, and I was live streaming the concert, and this thing got my phone through the entire show. The concert was like 3 or 4 hours, around that time. So you are getting a pretty good deal with this, and it does have the stand. Charges with USB-C. There's even a button on the bottom to show you the charge limit. So mine is actually kind of like 50%. But this thing is really great. I keep it here on my desk charging until I need it, and then I will take it with me sometimes. Or if I'm not at my desk and I want to just charge my phone quickly or keep it, a bit juiced up, I plug it in. And I think that's pretty great. Now, and when it comes to Anchor products, I've always said to people, I always trust Anchor's products. It was unfortunate that the car mount, at the time when I reviewed it, it was disappointing to me, but I did decide to give it another shot. I had someone comment about, I helped them save money on the product. And I really do think if you want a faster charging experience, you shouldn't go with the Anchor one, because you're only going to get a faster experience if you plug it in. At that point, just get another plug-in option. And it's also limited in terms of its ability to angle the way you want it to angle and its length. So, I made these comments in my review if you haven't seen it already. But that's pretty much all the accessories I use for my iPhone. And I wonder what you guys are using for your iPhones. I was trying to use some camera accessories. I did see a couple of them online that I may or may not pick up. So just be patient and see what happens in the next couple weeks or so. But one of them, I did see a review on it from Unbox Therapy. So I'll probably look back on that video to get more of an idea of if I want to buy it. Other than that, that's my video for today. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for being patient with me as I'm trying to get through the changes in my life and trying to organize everything and keep everything going. My setup is really crammed up right now, so I'm trying to do some renovations, if you will, to help make my setup a bit more relaxed and enjoyable. But with that being said, I'm Anthony Online Tech, and I'll see you guys next time.